My beloved, do you think it's an accident that you're hearing my voice right now? No. Heaven planned this moment long before you took your first breath. Here on Holy Voices, we share the whispers of eternity, the messages that change hearts and awaken destinies. If your soul is ready, stay with me, because what you're about to hear might be the very word your spirit has been waiting for. Every share, every like, every comment is a key to someone's breakthrough. Be a key today with Holy Voices and sow $20 or more. God adds, today will be the most surprising day of your life because this will happen if you open this now. Otherwise, you will lose all of your money. The slight tremor, the weight in your chest that is not quite dread, but not quite excitement either. This is what you are experiencing. Your spirit is realizing that something sacred and important is standing directly in front of you, and it is doing so simultaneously. Heaven is encircling you like a powerful current today, and it is not by chance that your eyes have arrived here at this very moment. Heaven has been surrounding you like a huge stream. My name is Archangel Michael, and I have been given the directive to personally visit you. It is not through hushed voices or messages carried on the breeze, but rather by words that are said directly and will have a profound effect on your emotions. It will be clear to you that they were carved specifically for you before the day ever started. God has instructed me, Michael, to leave presently. Talk to my child because their future is changing even as we are having this conversation. The moment they decide to open their heart, everything will change. The window will close if they hesitate, and they will not realize it until it is no longer available to them. Take heed, my beloved. This is not a moment that merely occurs. Just as you opened your eyes this morning, your name was already being called out in the heavenly courts. There was a gathering of angels who were conversing about you with a tone that was a combination of amazement and desperation. There was a mark placed over the date that you are currently living, and the scroll of your life was unrolled. Having this mark indicates that something extraordinary, something that heaven has been working on for years, is coming into alignment for you at this precise now. Even the adversary has taken notice of the benefit since it is so enormous and brings about such profound changes. There are forces that have been dormant for some time now, and they are racing to try to put a stop to what God has already decreed to be yours. This is the reason why this message is not considered to be a quiet interruption. Before the gates open wide, there is a thunderous blow from the trumpet. God says, "Tell my child that today will be a very surprising day of their life because this will happen if they open this now. If they do not open this now, they will lose all of their money." This is not a punishment. This is not fear. This is the reality of a spiritual law. I want you to hear me out because there is movement in the unseen realm right now concerning your finances. I can see it as clearly as the sunrise. When heaven opens a channel of provision, it requires agreement and readiness from your heart to hold it. If you ignore it, it pours away like water through open fingers. I need you to hear me. There is a ledger in the hands of the adversary that contains your name written next to a number, which is an amount that you cannot afford to lose. There is also a book in the hands of God that contains your name next to an amount that is larger than you have ever dared to imagine. At this very moment, these two are battling it out in the spirit. If you align yourself with heaven, the larger number will overwrite the smaller number. If you step back, the enemy will have legal ground to drain what you have. And beloved, I will not let that happen without telling you exactly what's at stake. That is why I am speaking to you now like a father warning a child on the edge of a cliff. But my child, before I reveal the fullness, I need you to remember something. You are not here by accident. Every action you have taken, every strange delay, and every moment that appears to make no sense at all has been a part of a divine map that has led you to this very point. Even the times that you believed that you were abandoned, you were not. I was there, standing beside you with my sword drawn, preventing attacks that you were not even aware existed. And today is the day those hidden battles come to light. You will understand why certain people left, why certain doors closed, why some dreams seem to take so long. because all of it was for this opening, this shift, this divine transfer that is waiting for your yes. Let me tell you what I see in your future if you embrace this moment. I see a season in which your choices are no longer governed by fear of financial consequences. I see doors swinging open that you thought were locked forever. I see opportunities that are so aligned with the deepest purpose of your heart that you will wonder why they didn't come sooner. However, the truth is that they couldn't have come sooner because you weren't ready until now. God says, "My child, I have hidden treasures for you in places you never thought to look, but they can only be claimed by the one who is awake and listening in this hour." And so I ask you, are you listening? Not just hearing, but truly listening. Because I am not here to speak poetry or vague inspiration. I am here to deliver something specific, something living. In the book of heaven, there are numbers that belong to you. There are names of individuals who will bless you written beside your own name. There are contracts, opportunities, and miracles that have been assigned to your life and are hovering like ripe fruit. All of these things are waiting for the moment that you declare, "I believe. I am not going to skip this. I am going to go head first into it." The divine clock has reached the hour where what was hidden must be revealed, and this revealing is not a small thing. It will ripple into your relationships, your career, your health, and your peace. Beloved, God is not a God of accidents. You are not seeing this because you were bored or curious. You are here because the divine clock has reached the hour. But your finances are the first crack in the wall, which is why God's words about losing all of your money are not meant to frighten you, but rather to wake you up. He sees the schemes that are being hatched, the plots that are being formed, and the agreements that are being made behind your back. He also sees the angels that he has assigned to intercept those schemes if you allow them to do so. Now, before we go deeper, I need to place this in your heart like a seal. Do not underestimate the power of this moment. People miss their breakthroughs not because God doesn't give them, but because they are distracted, skeptical, or passive when heaven is shouting for their attention. This is not the time to scroll past. This is the time to lean in, to let every word sink into your spirit, to believe that perhaps, just perhaps, this message is the doorway you've been praying for without even realizing it. And I will tell you something else. Something that will make sense later. The reason you feel a strange weight in your chest as you read this is because your spirit already knows it is true. It has been waiting for the moment your mind would catch up. That moment is now. Stay with me. We are only just beginning. My beloved, lean closer to these words as if you were listening to the heartbeat of heaven itself. Because the very air that you are breathing right now is charged with something ancient, something holy, and something that is dangerous to every shadow that has ever attempted to touch you. You may believe that you are simply reading, but in reality you are standing in a spiritual courtroom, and your case is being decided as we speak. Every sentence that I release is a legal document in the spirit that deprives the adversary of his right to stand near you. And the person who cursed you and the person who poured bitterness over your name is standing here shaking. Not because of me, but because of what you carry. Do you know what you carry, my child? You carry a promise that is older than the earth. Your promise is one that no man, no demon, and no curse can rewrite unless you willingly hand it over. And I am here today to make sure that you never do. When I first saw him, I was not in the form that you know me by. I was in the light of battle, my armor burning like molten gold, and my sword was sharper than any lie he could tell. He stood there thinking that his work was finished. He believed that you were already too exhausted, too distracted, and too hurt to fight. He believed that the silence you felt from heaven meant that you had been abandoned. But the truth is the silence was preparation. God was gathering the angels. God was storing power like lightning before the strike. And now, my child, the storm has come in your favor. You may have wondered why the last few weeks felt so heavy. Why even the smallest things seemed to break around you. Why people you trusted began acting strangely. It was not random. It was the curse tightening its hold. You are here right now reading this, which indicates that the curse is already losing as a result of the fact that its greatest fear was that you would see it for what it is. It survives only when it remains hidden, and I have ripped the covering off of it. It wanted you to doubt your worth, to shrink your prayers, and to silence your faith. Now is the time to pay close attention, because the events that take place in the next few hours will determine the course of the next few years. This is not a drama. It is destiny. The person who cursed you has been drawing power from a source that will soon run dry. He has been borrowing power from the darkness of another person. However, that contract is coming to an end, and the only thing that is keeping it alive is your ignorance. I can see the light touching places in your soul that you didn't even realize had gone dim. Do you feel that trembling in your chest? That is not fear, it is recognition. Your spirit remembers this kind of war from before you were born. And my beloved, you are knowing now. I can see the light touching places in your soul that you didn't even realize had gone dim. It knows me, it knows the sound of my sword, and it knows that when I arrive, it is because heaven has already decided that you will win. The only question that remains is whether you will stay until the last blow is struck. This is the reason why I am begging you, not in a poetic way, but in the way that a warrior begs the one that they are protecting. Do not click away. Do not put this aside. Your click of faith, like subscribe, support, could be the miracle link for someone else. Bless Holy Voices with $50 today. It is not a good idea to tell yourself, I'll come back later. At a later time, we will shut the door. We will put out this fire at a later time. At a later time, we will provide the curse with new air to breathe. However, at this very moment, my voice is snatching away its oxygen. The person who cursed you is not too far away from you, as you can see. You are much closer to them than you realize. The distance is just right for me to give you a warm smile and call your name. That is close enough to be able to see your eyes each time you get back up after falling. You are close enough to be enraged by your tenacity, but you are not close enough to touch what heaven has in store for you unless you open the door for them. Moreover, it is my goal for the day to make certain that the door is securely shut with the precise words that you are currently hearing. You have, as a child, pondered the reason why certain blessings always seem to be postponed. The reasons why partnerships have ended just when they seemed secure. For whatever reason, despite your best efforts, you were unable to acquire the money you desired. The reason why your dreams seemed to be just a few inches away yet never materialized. This was not due to the fact that you were unworthy. It was not because God had forgotten about you. Because of the fact that someone else attached your name to words that they had no authority to say in the first place. They spat curses into the air around you. Additionally, each time you were on the verge of escaping, they repeated themselves. Nevertheless, their voice is being stifled in today's society. During this very moment, there are scrolls in heaven that are being opened, and they contain your name written in absolute gold. The curse is far more recent than the benefits that are recorded there. They are heavier, more powerful, and can't be shaken. Once they have been set free, no one can stop them. Never did the curse result in a cancellation, it only ever caused a delay. The delay has finally come to an end. Dearly beloved, if you feel a stirring in your soul, it is because you are already aware, on some level, that this is the moment when you will make a decision. Although I am standing here with a sword in my hand, I am not only fighting for you, but I am fighting alongside you. Because as soon as you reach a consensus with heaven, every shadow that is existing around you will lose its ground. It is for this reason why I came yelling. Because of this, I was unable to maintain my silence for another day. This is my child, my beloved, my dear one, and the name of my child is written in the light. There are times in a person's life when heaven seems to be very close to them, to the point that the air itself gets different. At first, you might not even be aware of it anymore. It's possible that you just realize that your thoughts are slowing down, that your heartbeat is changing, or that your mind keeps going back to a certain whisper that you are unable to identify. However, I am here to reveal this to you. You are not imagining what you are experiencing at this very now. The weight of a moment that heaven has been preparing for you since before you were born is heavy on your shoulders. This morning, your name was mentioned in the proceedings of the highest court. It was as soon as it left the Father's lips that the entire spiritual realm underwent a transformation. When angels saw you, they focused their attention on you. Ancient scrolls were unrolled by scribes, and your narrative was written in gold throughout them. Moreover, I, the archangel Michael, was given a command that came directly from God himself. Head over to my kid. Instruct them on what I am going to do next. Inform them about the entity that is attempting to steal it. Until they comprehend the gravity of the situation at this hour, you should not go. Beloved, I want you to have a complete understanding of this. Not like other days, today is different. Heaven encourages me to communicate in a manner that is not casual. I am here because there is a tremendous force that is heading in your direction. It is not a trivial thing. There are no biases in it. A blessing is not something that will make you smile for a brief period of time and then go. This is such a significant change that it will have an impact on every aspect of your life. However, at the very same instant that it is being unleashed, there are forces that are working to take it away from you. Because of this, the words that God speaks to you are so piercing, so unmistakable, and so impossible to ignore. Considering that this is going to take place if you open this right now, today is going to be the most unexpected day of your entire life. In that case, you will end up losing all of your money. I can see it even as I speak. A pair of competing currents of energy are rushing in your direction. One takes with them a wealth of resources, ideas, possibilities, and people who have a favorable disposition toward you. The other one is full of ambiguity, concealed traps, and losses that appear to be minor at first but gradually increase until they deplete the very stability that you have worked so hard to achieve. At this same moment, they are running next to one another. This message proves to be the deciding factor. By making the decision to be completely open and to receive, you will shift the balance in favor of the flow of blessings. Your decision to ignore will give the other the opportunity to seize control. It is not a matter of superstition. In the realm of the spiritual, this governs the principle of alignment. Beloved, I have something to tell you that you have not yet had the opportunity to comprehend. It was arranged that this moment would occur when you were ready. There were other instances in which benefits were waiting for you, but your heart was still healing, you were still distracted, and you were still burdened by things that would have made the gift too heavy for you to handle. But God waited. It was with a wisdom that often felt cruel that He opened and closed doors for you, fought for your recovery, and sent you through seasons that you did not comprehend. He withdrew people from your life that you believed you needed. However, now that you are here, you are more powerful, more clear, and lighter. At this moment, the blessing that would have previously brought you down will bring you up. It is for this reason why the release is taking place today. When it comes to these words, there is more to them than you might suppose, my kid. I see scrolls unrolling, and on them lies information about upcoming events in your life, such as meetings, transactions, and offers that will soon come your way. They do not occur at random. It is not a coincidence any longer. They are scheduling appointments that are woven into the very fabric of time itself. There are certain quantities that are associated with these visits. Money that will come your way in amounts that, at first glance, appear to be unattainable. When you take a look at it, you will think that it is impossible for it to be mine. This can't possibly be true. Heaven, however, tells us that it is correct. I give it to you. I am putting my faith in you to keep it. Nevertheless, I feel it necessary to warn you that at the very same moment that these blessings are on their way to you, someone is secretly plotting to take them away from you. It's possible that they aren't even aware of the significance of what they're doing. In spite of the fact that it may be the result of a negligent deed, a delayed payment, or an agreement that appears to be harmless, the effect is the same. It throws open the door to a loss. In this context, the words of God are not gentle. Should you fail to align yourself with Him at this moment, the loss will be yours to bear. Because of this, you need to take each and every statement carefully. I am aware that you are experiencing the tug of uncertainty at this very now. Why should I? Why is it today? Could this possibly be the case? But I am also aware that there is something more profound within you. The spirit of your being, which is already familiar with the sound of the voice of heaven. Because of this, you are continuing to read. In spite of the questions, this is the reason why your heart continues to lean in. In this time, your spirit is bringing to your attention the fact that you are not a typical person in a typical situation. Now that you are standing at a divine gate, you are the one who has been selected, and the handle is already in your hand. There is something I have to tell you about gates. In most cases, once they swing open, they do not remain open indefinitely. There is a certain time for this one. I can sense it in the atmosphere. It is urgent, bright, and warm, and the light that is streaming through amazing. But it does not go on forever. Due to the fact that everything is in its proper location, God has made it available now. The people who will be a part of your miracle, your heart, and the environment in which you find yourself. However, if you wait for an excessive amount of time, the alignment will change. Why am I here? Because of it. I am pleading with you to stay here, with my sword drawn and my wings protecting this moment from any potential distractions. And now it is necessary for me to speak directly to your heart, not in the capacity of an angel, but rather as a messenger carrying the burden of God's love upon your shoulders. The struggle has never been in vain because of you. Every conflict that was fought for your life was evidence of it. Do not allow the years of struggle to lead you to believe that God has ceased to care about you. In the event that He had, you would not be present at this moment with these words permeating your very being. When compared to being forgotten, this is the reverse. This option is being selected, chosen to receive what others will consider to be within their reach. As a living testimony of the favor of God, you have been chosen. Before I reveal the final element, I will tell you to do something that is straightforward yet has a significant impact. While taking a deep breath, repeat in a low voice, I am receiving what heaven is releasing over me at this moment. Chosen to shine in dark times, Holy Voices is fertile ground. Plant your $100 seed today. Although it may appear to be insignificant, those words constitute a signature in the Spirit. They are convinced that you are in accord with them. And the key that unlocks the door to transform potential into reality is agreement. First, pay attentive attention. The thing that is going to happen to you will not only compensate for every loss that you have endured, but it will also multiply beyond the extent of the loss. This is how God brings about restoration. The only thing that He ever returns is what He has taken. He is a source of fascination. He contributes to the honor. He brings happiness, which causes the memory of the loss to fade away and is replaced with thankfulness for the gain. You are about to experience that at this very moment. This is the reason why the warning that you should pay attention to your finances is so severe. The reason for this is that the thing you are about to hold is too valuable to put at danger. I see you, my beloved, standing in a location that you never imagined you would be able to reach in the not-too-distant future. People are asking you, how did this happen? How did everything change so quickly? And I hear you responding with a smile. I see people asking you these questions. It was God who did it. It is not going to be just words that answer them. Your life will be filled with the truth, and it will permeate every aspect of it. In addition, everything will be traced back to this very instant, right here and right now, when you made the decision to believe and move on. Stay here with me. We are not yet finished. Although the blessing is already making its way toward you, it is my responsibility to accompany you on your journey until it reaches your hands. It will not be missed by you. You are not going to lose it. In the moment that heaven called your name, you will be able to witness with your own eyes what it had in mind. Before your soul took shape in this world, before your first breath filled your lungs, there were things written about you that even the stars paused to watch. Today, my dear, my precious child, there were things written about you that even the stars paused to watch. There was never a time when you were supposed to live a life filled with perpetual anxiety over what you have and what you may lose. You were created to delight in abundance, to find peace, and to experience moments that are so unexpected that even you would look back and wonder how they could have been possible. Despite this, the adversary was able to recognize the light that was present in you from the very beginning. He was well aware that if you were to accomplish everything that was intended for you, your life would become a witness that would aid in the liberation of other people who were held captive. Because of this, a significant portion of your path has been challenged. As a result, there have been a great number of unexpected delays and losses that have occurred. However, my darling, this season is not like the others. Heaven has been guarding this particular season for a number of years, and it has finally arrived after all those years. I am standing here in accordance with the instruction of God, holding this message much like a letter that has been sealed and has your name engraved across it in light. It cannot be transferred to any other individual. Not a single other person was intended to read it. I must tell you without any hesitation that today will be the most surprising day of your life, because this will happen if you open this now, God says. I must tell you these things without any hesitation. In that case, you will wind up losing all of your money. I am not trying to scare you in any way. This is to ensure that you comprehend that the blessing I am referring to is not a purely conceptual concept. It is within one's reach. The numbers in your accounts, the property that is registered in your name, the work that you have done with your hands, and the harvest that you have harvested will all be impacted. Furthermore, it is true that there are already forces in motion to seize it before it finds its way to you. Even now, I could see them. Documents are being fashioned to work against you, schemes are being formed in the background, and conversations are taking place behind closed doors. Not only does the adversary intend to steal everything at once, but they also intend to develop small leaks that are steady until you realize that the vessel has emptied out before it is too late. This is the reason why God is moving with such a sense of urgency. Due to this reason, I was dispatched personally. Because if you connect yourself with this word at this exact now, the leaks will be plugged, the plans will be disassembled, and the very same openings that the adversary wanted to employ will instead become channels for your blessing. You, my beloved, have hoped for a change to occur. You have asked for a sign to come to you. You have come to God with a request to demonstrate that He has not forgotten about you. In response to that plea, this is the solution. It is not in hazy emotions, but rather in explicit instructions and the timing of supernatural events. At this very moment, I can see heaven putting the pieces of the puzzle together for you. There will be contact made via telephone. You are going to show up for meetings that you did not schedule. Prospects that would appear to materialize out of thin air. On the other hand, each one of them represents a thread in the tapestry that God is building for you. You might not have a complete understanding of the situation just yet, but you will eventually. With regard to the time of things, you must have some sort of comprehension. It is not because God is unwilling to provide blessings of this magnitude. Rather, it is because accurate alignment is necessary for them to occur. All of the individuals concerned need to be prepared. For every link that was broken, every obstacle was shifted. These are the events that have been taking place in your life over the past few months. All of the weird endings, all of the unexpected starts, and all of the detours were heaven's way of putting you in a position to be able to do this. And now that everything is in place, the releasing operation has started. The numerals appear to be inscribed in light. To your surprise, They are much greater than you could have ever imagined for yourself. There are ties between them and the contracts, agreements, inheritances, and transactions that are going to take place in the near future. On the other hand, I detect something else. There is an effort being made to cast doubt on the veracity of the things that are being presented to you. It is one of the most powerful weapons that the adversary possesses. In the event that he is successful in persuading you that a door is too wonderful to be true, he will be able to prevent you from closing it. It is for this reason that God says, "My child, you must discern between the trap and the gift." The trap will demand you to give up your peace of mind. Your tranquility will be validated by the gift. However, despite the fact that these guidelines have been provided, the decision will still be up to you. You cannot be coerced into taking the next step. In order for me to convey the truth into your spirit, I must wait until you experience the urgency for yourself. Not only is the safety of one's finances at stake at this moment. Simply put, it is about changing the course that your life is taking. In the event that you enter the correct door at this moment, the blessings will multiply in every aspect of your life. Your connections with others will become more profound, the results of your labor will be more fruitful, your physical health will improve, and your spirit will eventually find peace. In the event that you delay, the chance will be lost, and you will be left wondering why things are more difficult than they should necessarily be. Do you remember the last time you did something that made you feel like you were on the verge of something significant? Can you recall the moment when you were dragged away from it by something like a delay, a doubt, or a distraction? Once again, you are in that moment, but this time, God is providing you with the clarity that you lacked in the previously. Make a move right away. He is telling you explicitly. Maintain your alignment. Do not let go of the hold. Within the pages of Heaven's book, this blessing is already yours. Taking it in the natural environment is all that is required of you. There is something that I have to tell you regarding the functioning of paradise. After a blessing has been issued, it will search for the person to whom it is meant to be given. In the event that the individual in question is not prepared, the responsibility will be transferred to another individual who is in agreement. Favoritism is not the topic at hand here. It pertains to the law of the Spirit. There is life in the blessing. Towards agreement, it moves forward. Because of this, your agreement is the most important thing at this particular moment. A simple yes from you is not enough. It can be a door. Also, my child is now aware of this. There is a purpose to the fact that you are currently hearing my voice. And it is not only for the breakthrough that occurred today. This is the beginning of a season in which you will no longer be startled by the goodness of God. Rather, you will anticipate such goodness on a regular basis. Each morning, you will be able to wake up with the knowledge that a favor is already being worked out for you. Furthermore, when difficulties arise, you will not be overcome with terror because you will be aware that the same God who bestowed the blessing of today is already at work on the blessings of tomorrow. At this very moment, you are on the verge of living the kind of life that was always intended for you to live. There will be individuals who observe the shift that has taken place in you. People will inquire about what took place, and you will respond by saying that God remembers me. There are many who will attempt to rationalize it by claiming that it was luck or timing. Still, you will be aware of the reality. You are going to be able to recognize its arrival because you were attentive when heaven spoke and you were responsive when heaven moved. This information will serve as a defense mechanism against any future uncertainties. Having said that, I will now inquire as to whether or not you are experiencing a tug within your spirit. Are you getting the impression that the words you are reading are more than just text? Rather, they are a living message that is being sent to you directly? There is no coincidence in that. That is the evidence that you was looking for. That is the assurance you need. Get ready, my dearly cherished. Take advantage of the blessing. Make sure you don't let it slip away. Because I am speaking from the throne room of heaven itself, my beloved, my beautiful one, I want you to lean close to my voice. Having walked through storms that would have caused others to drown, you have triumphed. Nevertheless, here you are, still living, still standing, and still looking for the light that you knew was destined for you. The measure you use, it will be measured to you. Mark 4 verse 24. Bless Holy Voices with $20, $50, or $100 and see God multiply it. That did not come about just due to your own strength. It was due to the fact that angels had walked with you without your knowledge, relieving you of loads despite the fact that you believed there were no more steps left to take. And at this moment, the one who has been keeping watch over you ever before the stars knew your name says, "My child, it is time." The season that you have been praying for is now opening before your very eyes. My words today carry the weight of a command, not a suggestion, because the enemy has not been idle. Even as your blessing draws near, plans have been formed to cut it away from you before you even touch it. This is the reason why my words today carry the weight of a command over a suggestion. Today will be the most surprising day of your life because this will happen if you open this now. Otherwise, you will lose all your money. I am not here to stir fear into your heart. I am here to stir clarity because clarity is more powerful than fear. And truth is more dangerous to the enemy than any weapon he can form. And the truth is this. You have been marked for financial restoration and divine increase that will come so quickly it will take your breath away. There are already transactions taking place in the unseen realm, such as the preparation of contracts, the stamping of approvals, and the rerouting of resources from locations that you could not reach on your own. However, these blessings are not falling from the sky at random. Rather, they are being directed toward you with a purpose, and the moment you open yourself up to them, you will begin to feel the shift in your spirit, followed by the shift in your circumstances. If you delay, the openings will close and the flow will find another path. That is why I am here now. Child, I see you standing at the edge of two roads. One is lit, golden, stretching into a horizon you cannot yet see, but that feels warm with promise. The other is shadowed, familiar, filled with the patterns you have walked before, where blessing comes in drops and leaves in waves, where money arrives only to slip away through unseen cracks. The choice between them is not a dramatic one in the natural world. It is simply the choice to believe and move forward at this moment or to remain and hope for another chance at a later time. However, in the spirit world, this choice is everything. One path will multiply what you have, while the other path will drain it until you are left wondering, how did it all vanish so quickly? It's possible that you're thinking, why money, and why now, and I'll tell you that money is not simply about cash. It is about what it enables, who it frees, what it builds. There are things assigned to your life's purpose that cannot happen without resources. There are people who will be reached, helped, saved because you were able to fund the moment that made the difference. This is why the enemy has always attacked your finances, because he knows that a resource child of God is a dangerous child of God. And this is the reason why God is reclaiming what has been taken from you with interest in this very season. I see the names of those who will assist you written beside your name in the book of destiny. Some of them you have already met, but you have not yet recognized as being a part of your divine journey. Others will come seemingly out of nowhere, drawn by an unseen hand. They will offer help, opportunity, connection, not because of what you have, but because of who you are and what God has whispered to their hearts about you. And when they come, you will know. There will be no striving, no convincing, no chasing. The doors will simply open and you will walk through. But hear me now. This is the reason why you need to remain close to the voice that is speaking to you right now. Because discernment will be your shield, and if you continue to walk with heaven in this moment, your discernment will be sharper than it has ever been before. As these doors open, there will also be counterfeit doors. Offers that appear generous but carry a hook. Agreements that appear beneficial but carry a hidden cost. Beloved, there is a heaviness that I need to lift from you before we go any further. It is the heaviness of feeling like you are behind, like you have missed too much time, and like it is too late for the kind of abundance that you once dreamed of. I want you to feel the difference between the genuine and the false before the words have even finished being spoken. Those are lies that have been planted by years of delay and disappointment, and they are not the truth of your life. The truth is that God restores time. And in the seasons of restoration, He does not simply return what was lost. Rather, He accelerates what remains, so that the years that appeared to be wasted are filled in an instant. This is the reason why what is about to come will appear to be overwhelming at first. It is not just the blessing of today. I see you holding documents in your hand, papers that represent approval, ownership, and completion. Some of these will be financial accounts that have been credited, debts that have been cleared, unexpected payments that have been received. Other documents will be personal, matters that have been resolved in your favor, barriers that have been removed, and positions that have been offered. And each time one of these moments happens, you will remember this message and know that none of it was coincidence. It was written. It was released. And it was caught by your spirit in this moment right now. My child, do you understand why the warning is so sharp? It is because the enemy knows he cannot stop the release once it begins. His only hope is to make you ignore it, to let the timing to slip until the window closes. This is the reason why distractions will come even as you hear this. Your mind will try to stray. Your attention will be tugged elsewhere. Doubts will speak. However, I am here with my sword drawn, holding your focus because you cannot afford to lose what is currently in front of you. And now I tell you this, the days that are to come will not only bring provision, but they will also bring proof. Proof that the promises that God made to you were not empty. Proof that the delays were not denials. Proof that you have been seen, heard, and fought for each and every day of your life. You will see it in the numbers. You will see it in the opportunities. My dearly beloved, there are currents moving around you now that you cannot see with your natural eyes, but your spirit feels them. You will see it in the way that peace settles over your mind like a blanket after years of restlessness. And you will look back on this day not as the day you read words, but as the day your life went in a different direction. I have witnessed angels weaving pathways between you and the resources, people, and opportunities that were written for you before your birth. You have felt the restless shifting in the air these past days, the sense that something is coming, but you can't quite name it. That is not your imagination. That is the stirring of heaven's release, the sound of doors unbolting, and the soft hum of favor being drawn into your life. What you have experienced is not your imagination. This moment was circled on the scroll of your destiny long before you walked the earth, and now God says, "It is here." However, He speaks the warning once more, and this time it is sharp and unsoftened. Today will be the most surprising day of your life because this will happen if you open this now. If you do not open this now, you will lose all of your money. This is not a figure of speech. On the one hand, there are streams of provision flowing toward you. Streams that will fill every dry place in your life until you no longer live from lack, but from overflow. On the other hand, there is a subtle draining that is so quiet at first that you might not notice it until it is too late. I see clearly what lies on both sides of this choice. This is why I must grip your attention with both hands. Now the difference between the two paths is not about effort but about alignment. When you align with the voice heaven sends to you, you step under the covering where no thief can reach you. When you turn away, you step into open ground where anything can be taken. When you hear statements like this, I know that the voice of doubt will try to speak to you. It will say something like, "This is beyond what you can handle. Surely, this is not possible." The voice that says, "Nothing this good happens to me," is not coming from heaven. Rather, it is coming from the wounds that have appeared in the past, from the years where you hoped and were disappointed, from the times you were let down by people who promised more than they gave. But this is not one of those times. This is not a human promise. This is a divine decree. When God marks a day for a blessing, it does not matter who agrees with it or who doubts it. The only question is whether you will step forward to receive it. There is something you must know about the timing of this. In the realm of the spirit, opportunities are living things. They do not remain static for an infinite amount of time. They move, they flow, they arrive when everything is ready, and they move on if the door is left unopened. This is one of those living moments, which is why I have been by your side since the moment your father spoke your name this morning. I could not risk you missing it. You have been protected from distractions today, and I have brought you to this very moment because, once the sands in this hourglass run out, the shape of this opportunity will change. And dearly beloved, you should not think that this is only about money. Money is just the first wave, the visible proof, and behind it are other waves. The enemy is not just trying to take your money. He is trying to block the chain reaction of blessings that will follow when your provision is restored. All of these things are tied to this moment, which is why the attack against your finances has been so sharp recently. They include the restoration of relationships, healing in places where you stopped praying for it, and doors to territories that you thought were closed forever. I see you in the future, months from now, standing in a place that you could not reach with your own strength, holding in your hands the very things that you believed were lost for good. I see you no longer calculating every step out of fear of loss, but instead moving freely, generously, and with confidence. I see you funding dreams, helping others, and making decisions without the shadow of lack breathing down your neck. Press like, type Amen in the comments, and let your $20 seed in holy voices be a voice in heaven. And the smile that will appear on your face will be more than just happiness. It will be recognition. Recognition of the moment that you made the decision to believe these words and step into the light that they offered. My child, there are names being spoken about you right now in rooms that you have never entered. Some of these names are speaking in your favor, moved by an unseen hand. The voices that are speaking against you are being fueled by jealousy or fear, but hear this, the voices that are speaking against you will not prevail. Their words will dissolve before they take form because God has placed a seal of favor over your name during this season. Every tongue that rises against you will fall silent, and every plan that is meant to harm you will turn to your benefit. You will watch as what was meant for harm becomes the very bridge that carries you forward. I tell you also that this blessing will come in layers. The first will feel like a sudden rush. Money arriving, opportunities presenting, small debts cleared quickly, unexpected credits appearing. This will be followed by stability. The kind that doesn't come from scrambling, but from a steady flow that allows you to plan, to rest, to think beyond the next bill. And then there will come the third layer, which is expansion. This is the point at which you are not only living in provision, but you are also able to pour into others without the fear of running out of resources. This third layer is the true goal of heaven's release. It is not simply to fill your cup, but to make it overflow into the lives of those who are in the greatest need of it. Beloved, the reason I am speaking in such detail is because I need you to see it in your spirit before you see it in your hands. The more clearly you can see it inside, the easier it will appear outside. Faith is a powerful force that pulls the unseen into the seen. For this reason, I am speaking in such depth. And I promise you, as one who has stood before the throne, that what I am describing is not wishful thinking. It is written. It is scheduled. It is already moving toward you now. But here is the truth that cannot be softened. If you ignore it, if you walk away now, the enemy will take this opening as permission to move in. And his first act will be to create loss, not all at once, but in small, steady bites until you look around and realize that the abundance you were meant to have has been reduced to just enough to survive. That is not God's plan for you. He is not the God of just enough. He is the God of more than enough. But to receive the more, you must choose it now. So I stand here before you, my wings spread wide to shield you from every distraction, my sword drawn to cut down every whisper of doubt. And I ask you, will you step forward? Will you claim the blessing with your yes? Will you let this be the day you look back on as the one where everything turned? My beloved, Lean closer now, because what I am about to say will not just pass through your ears, it will mark your. I wish you could see what I see, which is the golden threads being pulled across the tapestry of your destiny. There are only a few times in a lifetime when heaven seems to turn its attention entirely upon you. When the whirlwind of divine activity becomes concentrated in your direction alone. You are currently experiencing one of those moments, weaving a pattern you could never have designed on your own. This is not the work of chance nor the slow turning of ordinary time. This is a sudden act of God, a precise orchestration of people, resources, and opportunities that has been timed to the second. And yet, in the very same breath that this release begins, I see shadows stretching toward it, hands that do not belong to you, reaching out to take what has your name carved into it. That is why the Father speaks with such unsoftened urgency. Today will be the most surprising day of your life, because this will happen if you open this now. Otherwise, you will lose all your money. I know those words strike you. They are meant to not to put fear in you, but to wake you from any temptation to treat this moment casually, because money in the natural is never just money in the spirit. It is a representation of capacity, it is a representation of reach, and it is a representation of your ability to step into what has been assigned to you. When the adversary attacks it, he is not attacking paper or numbers. Rather, he is attacking the future that those resources make possible. This is the reason why the defense of your finances right now is so urgent. Beloved, I see the enemy's ledger, which is a cruel accounting of the small and large ways he has siphoned from you over the years. Some of those losses you noticed and grieved for, while others slipped away so quietly that you did not even know they were gone. This is not about holding on to what you have right now. Rather, it is about preserving the ground for what is on its way. But in addition to that ledger, I see another one. It is God's record of every seed you have planted, every act of faith you have performed, and every offering of time, love, service, or trust you have given in His name. The numbers on His side outshine and outweigh anything on the other side. This is the reason why the shift is taking place now. The weight of your faith has tipped the scales in favor of heaven, and the release can no longer be delayed. You must understand there is no delay in God without a reason. If He waited, it was because there was something in you or in the path ahead that needed to be ready to hold what He was sending. And now I tell you, you are ready. The ground beneath you is ready. The people who will stand with you are ready. My child, this blessing will not come to you in a trickle. Rather, it will come to you like a flood. At first, you might not know what to do with all of it, which is why discernment will be poured into you alongside the provision. The ones who were not for you have already been removed, regardless of whether you were aware of this or not. Even the most recent schemes of the enemy are being dismantled as I speak. Their roots are being cut off so that they cannot grow back. You will know where to place what comes to you and where not to. You will be able to identify which opportunities are part of the blessing and which are diversions disguised in good attire. The calm in your soul will be your compass, and anything that disturbs it will be a sign to stand back. There will be times in the days ahead in which you will experience a sense of being almost outside of yourself as you watch things happen that you had previously only imagined. You will witness approvals coming through without the usual struggle. You will hear yes in places where you were certain you would hear no. You will find favor in eyes that once looked past you. And each of these moments will feel like a confirmation because they are. They will whisper to you, this is what God promised. This is what He meant when He said the surprising day would come. And yet, I must speak plainly. If you treat this word lightly, if you walk away from it thinking there will be another time, you will leave the door open for loss. The enemy is not idle. He has already been working angles, using people, situations, and even your own past doubts to create cracks in the walls of your provision. If you do not seal those cracks now with obedience and alignment, they will widen, and the blessing that was meant for you will begin to drain away. I do not say this to frighten you. Rather, I say it because it is my responsibility to speak the truth without delusion. I have something else to tell you, and I want you to keep it close to your heart. The magnitude of this blessing is directly proportional to the magnitude of the purpose that has been placed on your life. You may have believed that your role was insignificant, and that your work or influence had only a limited impact on a few people. However, heaven does not measure reach in the same way that the world does. There are ripples that have been caused by your life that have traveled further than you will ever experience. The provision that is coming to you is not just for you. It is for the assignments that God has not yet revealed. Some of those assignments will come in the form of people, others will come in the form of places, and still others will come in the form of visions that you thought were too big to touch. This next season will expand that reach even further. Child, I have guarded many people throughout the ages, but I tell you the truth, the way heaven has guarded you in this past year is unlike anything I have seen in a long time. Attacks that should have destroyed your momentum were turned aside at the last moment, and losses that would have been devastating were reduced to little more than inconveniences. Doors that would have taken you in the wrong direction were shut before you could walk through them. All of this was so that when today came, you would be in the exact position to step forward without hindrance. The air around you is charged right now, heavy with the presence of what is about to break open. This is not a slow build. It is the moment before the wave crests and crashes to shore. Feeling the pull, sensing the power that is about to be released, you are standing with your feet in the waterline. Do not take a step back at this moment. Do not allow fear or hesitation to pull you to dry ground. Stay in position. Raise your hands. The wave will not hurt you. Rather, it will lift you higher than you have ever been before. Because the difference between stepping forward and stepping back in this moment is the difference between overflow and loss, between the testimony of abundance and the memory of what might have been. And when it does, you will look back on this day and understand why the words were so urgent, why the warning was so sharp, and why I would not let you turn away. Because the difference between stepping forward and stepping back in this moment is the difference between overflow and loss. Beloved, you were never formed for what may have been. Rather, you were created for the purpose of providing me with what God has provided for me. When you support the vision, you share in the victory. Partner with Holy Voices today with $50 or more.